Hi, today I'm going to walk you through this unit about people who make a difference wax museum. My audience for this project is my fifth graders, and it coincides with a Ready Gen literacy unit that we do that's titled Superheroes. And those superheroes are people who have done things that make a difference, have made a positive contribution to society. And so we then ask students to find someone, and it can even be someone that we have already looked at briefly, but to look deeper into that person and create a 5-paragraph essay and then a 3 to 4 minute speech that they'll give to their classmates. And then after that, they condense that speech and make a 30-second speech that will just highlights their life for our Wax Museum Day. And they do the same 30-second speech over and over all day long. So this project is something that's completed entirely at school. The kids are given several weeks to work on it and put things together. It's a pretty big deal. You see here that there are some Common Core state standards that it meets. Some of those I've already highlighted with what we're trying to accomplish, but it's a lot of looking at digital print and regular print and using multiple sources and being able to be knowledgeable and speak knowledgeably about something and write knowledgeably about something and adapting your text and your context for what you're doing, whether you're speaking about it or writing about it. There's also some ISTE standards that this fits. Knowledge constructor and creative communicator were two that I thought fit very well with this. So in our first lesson, it's kind of an introduction. It's asking and showing the students what a wax museum is so that they understand what it is that they're trying to do. And then we talk to them about researching. So in this particular instance, we go and we have a wax museum tour that I will show them. So this is the video, and I know you can't hear any of it, but it's a brief tour through a wax museum, Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in Hollywood. And it's just to give a chance for the kids to see this is what a wax museum is. There's all of these famous people represented, and that's what they're going to be doing. So my idea around this is to excite them for what a wax museum is and get them interested in thinking about all of these famous people. And they don't even have to be that famous, but they just have to have done something to positively contribute to our society. So after getting them excited about the wax museum and what a wax museum is, I'm then going to take them in and start talking to them about what some of those goals are that we do have. That I mentioned previously, the essay, the speech, the Wax Museum Day. And we're then going to start brainstorming about people and famous people and people that they think they might like to research. At which point we'll open up a mind map or brainstorming, doing some brainstorming in groups. So this is mindmeister.com. This is just one of many tools that could be used, but this one looks pretty cool because you can share the link. And I figured that we could, as a group, come up with, I just put in, for example, activists, scientists, humanitarian, educators. Those were my ideas. But I would like to be able to brainstorm with the children. What do they think the category should be? Then assign each table group a category. They'll each have a couple of computers at each table so that I don't have to have one per child if I don't happen to have that for the day. And they can brainstorm and input some ideas of people that they think have made a difference to just get them start thinking about this. So this is lesson 2. In lesson 2, we're going to try to narrow their ideas down to about 3 people. They still may not even have 3 people, and they still may not have anyone, but we'll try to narrow them down so that they are at about 3 people. And I've created a thing link to help with that. In this thing link, I picked it because I kind of like the picture, but in this thing link we have over here, we have a link to a biography.com list of people who have contributed positively to society. We have a link over here that kind of shows the kids what an end product will look like. This particular video shows a 3 to 4 minute speech, but we'll talk about how that changes for us. And then over here, I have a link to a Google form where they can fill out and put their top 3 choices. This will help me and my fellow teachers, if they choose to use this, to be able to consolidate and see kind of who people are thinking about, see if we can steer somebody another direction if we have multiple people looking to have this, that have the same list of people who are wanting to research, because everybody picks a different person. So lesson 3, we're then talking about conducting online and print research. The students are required to have at least 3 resources. One of those resources needs to be a print resource. We're not going to go too much into the print at this point since we are focusing on the Web 2.0 tools. But I do want to talk to them about hoax sites, about Wikipedia not always having the most accurate information, and about student-friendly search engines. Since sometimes I have students who are reading at lower reading levels, some of the student-friendly search engines give back information that is in a more digestible format than something you might find just by searching Google. We Are Teachers has some great resources for all of that. As well, I've listed a link for where there are some additional just links to kid-friendly search engines, and that's what this is and this is. At We Are Teachers, it has 11 ways to teach savvy search skills. And if we go down the page here, we see one of them talks about the Pacific tree octopus and the whole website that is devoted to that. I've in the past used something about the cheese-eating mice of the moon, but this gives me something that's already prepped and I can show them. Some search strategies, as well as the 3 resource rule, which is something that we talk about as well. I don't know that I will use the CRAP test depending upon my class. That could get a whole other thing started that I'm not interested in. As well as then domain specific and asking for help and how search engines work. So I thought this was a really good, and then a scavenger hunt. So after we have, let's go back a slide. After we have finished giving some information about searching, I will then make sure that on this day we do have a classroom set of computers. They will each have a computer in front of them, and they will be able to, given a topic, search for it and find the information either using one of the search engines that's kid-friendly or something that way, but giving them an idea of, hey, try putting this in, hey, try putting this in, to see the different results that you get so that they understand as they go into their research what it means when I say try phrasing it a different way. So then in lesson 4, we're going to talk about note-taking. We have an 11 by 17 graphic organizer that we've used in the past for taking notes by hand. This is still important to us because we don't always all have a classroom set of computers, and we still want them to be working with print. But I will also show them during this time how to create a Google document, and I have a link to a screencast for them to be able to do that so that they can reference back to it later if they need to. As well as I will show them how they can create their own columns for note-taking, or tables for note-taking with columns of what I copied, putting it into my own words, and then where I got that information from with a works cited piece. For the 5th lesson, this is my carrot dangling to them. I have links to show them examples of a book creator, of what a blabberized looks like, and what a fake book account for that person would be. This is so that they can finish. My justification is, if you get finished with all of the work and you have all of the information, you can then put it in to one of these, and this is the fun piece for you to have fun with. The last lesson that I have is the Timeline JS, which is a great tool. I just am not sure yet whether or not I'm going to have students that will be able to do it on their own. So this could end up being a lesson just for myself, of somehow getting the information from them, putting it in to be able to show them the timeline of how their people stack out for where they fit in history as compared to their classmates. It's a great tool. I really like it. I'm just not sure whether or not my students will be able to figure out how to input everything where it needs to go. But we'll work with that and see. I may be very surprised. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm pretty excited about all of these new tools to try this next school year. Thanks.